So that nameless person or her representatives just doxed 89 witnesses that'll be involved in Virginia 2022. That's right. You see that little area called contact information? Well, unlike my copy here, which is blank, their copy, oh no, they made everything public. Now, as far as the names on this list are concerned, you and I, we're going to look at them in detail. But you have names here that this could cause real problems for. James Franco, for example. He's really getting a lot of scrutiny in the public eye. He's having a lot of problems right now. And this can't be good for him. Or how about Elon Musk? His name is also on the list. His information has now been put out there. And there's been a lot of controversy as of late surrounding him, too. Again, this stuff, it can't be good for people like that. You also have J.K. Rowling on the list. Interestingly enough, I didn't know her real name, so I actually needed that AKA. But if you look up J.K. Rowling anywhere on social media, what you'll find is not only controversy, but that people, they say some extreme things about her. She doesn't need her information out there at all. Like I said at the beginning, all told, we're talking about 89 individuals' contact information going public. You and I, we're going to talk about that. Oh man, what a mess. What a mess indeed. So hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. If you would, share the video far and wide. Make sure this information gets out there. Feed that pesky algorithm the likes, comments, and attention it loves and craves. Also, sub to the channel. Make sure you're still subbed. And if you haven't, well, shiny buttons. Now, as far as this incident is concerned, I find this deeply troubling because of 3 reasons. Number 1, this is not the first time it happened. JD's information actually made it public once, because of accident. Number 2, 89 people, they've had their information mishandled at best, and well, at worst, you can go in and you can guess why this might happen. This causes stress at best, and worst case scenario, I don't even want to put that out there. Number 3, these are the same people that wanted to unmask over 200 Twitter users, saying they wanted to prove they weren't quote-unquote bots. If they ended up with your information, how do you think that might be treated? Now, as far as the people on this list are concerned, some of them you'll know, some of them you won't. I felt the same way with it, but you'll notice some of these people, they were deposed or deposition noticed, and that could cause them potentially even more problems. You have Dr. Laurel Anderson, Dr. Amy Banks, Ellen Barkin. Ellen Barkin was deposed, by the way. They had quite a, well, I'm going to say an unbelievable JD story. With number 4, you have Isaac B. This is somebody that was a neighbor and had some very interesting stories about that nameless person. Robin Baum, somebody, I had to look them up, but someone that had a relationship, it seems like, with JD. Lisa Beam, this was a nurse that had some very interesting things to tell about that nameless person. Blair Burke. Paul Bettany. Now, Paul Bettany actually had some very interesting things to say, too. Jacob Bloom. Then you have Natasha Brooks. Bianca B. I'm not going to go after her last name. Every time I do, it's either funny or, oh, man. You have Christian Carino. That's a talent agent, apparently. Had to look them up since they were deposed. Now, look at some of the names here, particularly number 17. You have 13, Malcolm Connolly. That is the bodyguard for JD. Can tell you pretty much everything that went on. The doctor we've heard from a lot, that's number 14. Dr. Cowan, we also hear number 15 from Amanda Day Cabernet. We have number 16, Eliza Christie Dombrowski. And then number 17, you see that last name there? Yeah, Debbie Depp. That is JD's sister. They dropped the contact information for JD's freaking sister. I mean, that, oh man, what a mess. Now, number 18, Laura D. I get the feeling that a certain nameless person never really respected their wants. They never wanted to be in the public eye. And yet, well, we're not only here, but there were so many other things that happened too. Number 19, Mick Doohan. Number 20, Josh Drew. Josh Drew, the guy that was taking pictures behind JD's back while living off of him for years. Yeah, I could say a lot about that guy. Number 21, Kelly Eder. I suppose that's how you pronounce that. Number 22, Trinity Esparza. Big name in this case. Told us about the Eastern Columbia building. Told us about a certain Rocket Man. Told us about all of the videos goes and on. 23, Aaron Filati. Number 24, James Franco, someone that doesn't need this attention. And ooh, I have a story about that guy to tell you. Buckle up for that one. It'll be a whole video. Never heard it anywhere before. Number 25, Hector G. Number 26, Eric George. We just saw the deposition of them, by the way. 27, Jody G. Another name you might recognize. Number 28, Tyler Haddon. And number 29, Cornelius Harrell. Now, some people have utilized these names to say, hey, this stuff, it wasn't intentional. I would say at least it gives you some deniability. But irregardless of whether or not you meant this maliciously, mishandling people's information, yeah, not a good look, not a good look at all. Here's David Hurd. You're talking about a relative there. I'm going to skip 31 because this person is deceased. Don't want to talk bad about them in any way, shape, or form. Number 32, Whitney. That would be the sister of the nameless person. Yeah, they've had a lot to say in this. Number 33, Nathan Holmes. I'm sure you've heard them come up here and there. Number 34, Jennifer Howell. Now, I feel really bad for Jennifer Howell here because Jennifer Howell has been harassed, has had people go after them again and again just for telling their truth. And this isn't going to make things any better. I mean, it's going to make them far, far worse. Now, number 35, Melanie I. A very, very interesting name. Someone who's told us quite a bit in this case. Number 36, Dr. Bonnie Jacobs. 37, Tracy Jacobs. 38, Kate James. Kate James, the former assistant of that nameless person, pretty much single-handedly led to a lot of the investigations that we're seeing. Also said that nameless person stole my main story. Yeah, so much there. 39, Starling Jenkins, one of my favorite people to read the deposition of. 40, Jerry Judge. 41, Kim Ben King. And number 42, this would be the main doctor that we've heard from, Dr. Kipper. Now, number 43, Samantha Klein. 44, Jessica Kay. Number 45, Debbie Lloyd. That was the nurse we heard so much from. They said that they didn't see any substantiation with those accusations that nameless person was throwing out, but they heard a lot about substances. 46, Elizabeth Martz. Elizabeth Martz was buddy-buddy with that nameless person. Look, their contact information, it wasn't safe. 47, Joe Mandel. Now, Joe Mandel, he had a pretty interesting story to tell. That rhymed. It was an accident there. 48, Brandon McCullough. 49, Samantha McMillan. Samantha McMillan told some very fascinating stuff. 50, Savannah McMillan. This person, the stuff about them could actually lead to Homeland Security intervention in the future. 51, Travis McGivern. 52, Michelle Rooney. Now, number 53 is probably my favorite person listed. Why? Because they talked about Poopgate, they talked about Australia, but they actually put everything on the line to tell their story, and of course, their information ends up out here. 54, J.K. Rowling. I wonder why J.K. Rowling's information might make the list. 55, the Rocket Man himself. Wow, that tells you, no matter what you go out and do, yeah, your stuff, it still might not be safe. 56, Brandon Patterson. 57, Raquel Pennington. Yet another buddy-buddy with the nameless person. Their information, again, is on here. 58, Tara Roberts. 59, Alejandro Romero. 60, Anthony Romero. One of the Romeros, I can't remember which one, was telling us about the Eastern Columbia building and about a certain rocket man. 61, Melissa S. 62, Trudy S. 63, Christina Sexton. 64, we have Robin Schulman. 65, Martin D. Singer. That would be the representative of that certain nameless person that decided that they were going to put attorney-client privilege on documents, tagging people outside of it. So we got to see some very salacious stuff about Australia and beyond. 66, Samantha Spector. 67, Monroe Tinker. 68, Tasha Van Ree. 2009, a certain incident in an airport. That would be a fascinating one to hear there. 69, we hear Adam Waldman's information getting dumped yet again. I mean, that's crazy. 70, Laura Wasser. Of course, Laura Wasser's going to have problems. They represented JD along with 71, Wasser Cooperman and Mandels. They're the ones, in my opinion, that manufactured the body cam evidence that we're seeing now. And of course, they're going to have that stuff put out there. 72, we have Jessica Whites. 73, Jack Wiggum. 74, we have Edward White. 75, Bruce Witkin. 76, one of the defenders of that nameless person wrote articles in Refinery 23, had to give up a lot of their social media because of that nameless person, Io Tillett Wright. 77, Sean Bett, yet another person that can tell you things from the beginning to the end. 78, I always mess up the last name, so I'm just going to say Bobby L. 79, Gina D. Number 80, Stephen D. Stephen D. had some very fascinating things to tell us, too. 81, Todd Norman. 82, Sam S. 83, Doug Stanhope. 84, Dina Waxman. 85, we have Andy. 86, we have Russell. 87, we have Keena Wyatt. 88, Jacqueline Kelsey. And then to follow it up, last but not least, we have 89, Cameron. Not protecting private information. Man, that says plenty. And remember, this is the same person that wanted over 200 Twitter users because they disagreed with a narrative. Basically, they wanted to disprove that there were quote-unquote bots. What do you think would have happened to their information if these people got to safeguard it? But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. And as always, appreciate the heck out of you. You make this stuff work. Thank you. You want to help the channel out in different ways? There are plenty of links in the description. Definitely check those out to help the channel. Thank you for that too. You being here, though, that matters. So thank you. I do appreciate you, and we will see you soon.